And here it is. Yep, I have moved away from the Range Rover and I have gone for its little brother, the Freelander. Kind of had mixed feelings about these cars over the years. I always thought they were kind of like just a lesser car, but to be fair, I bought this about 6 weeks ago now. I think it's about that. And I have absolutely fallen in love with it. The simplicity of it, absolutely brilliant. I'll go through all the details as to what I paid for it, all that side of things, the kind of condition. But to give you some idea, this is a 2011. This is the SD. So this is the slightly faster, I say faster in a bit of a flippant way, but it is a slightly more powerful engine, the SD. It's only a 2.2, I think it's something along those lines, but a great little car, and I absolutely love it. The plan was to buy it as a cheap runabout, use it every day kind of thing, not really have any dramas with it like with the Range Rovers and all that kind of stuff. I will show you around the car in a bit. But it's kind of grown on me. Now, this is a bit of a funny colour because it says it's gold. Now, it doesn't look gold to me. I'm not quite sure what Land Rover are on when they call this gold. But either way, it's gold. And one of the things that I had noticed on this car, I knew when I bought it, was this big fat crease in the door down here and the door down there as well. And I was kind of like, well, you know, is what it is. It's a cheap car, doesn't affect the performance, and it really doesn't. There's actually nothing wrong with this car whatsoever. It's a fantastic car. I kind of thought, well, I kind of like this. Let's try and make it look a bit nicer. So I've been hunting around for doors on eBay. Could not find any passenger side doors, left-hand side doors here in the UK, in this colour to fit this car. So an absolute nightmare. So, you know, my history of buying things ad hoc, what's better than one gold Freelander? Two of them. So to give you some idea, this first Freelander I bought cost just shy of £4,000, which is really next to nothing. I don't have the keys on me, that's annoying. And it was in really good shape. It was exactly what I needed. I didn't want to spend any really more than that. I kind of liked a black one, an HSE, but I decided to go for what my budget could stretch for to get the engine that I wanted, which is the SD, the SD4. It's a Freelander 2, it's the facelift one, so it has like the different rear end on it. With this straight across bar, stuff like that. There's a few other bits and pieces, better headlights and that kind of stuff. And that's what I kind of wanted. You'll find with the facelifts, they tend to iron out all the little issues as well. And sure enough, this is a great little car. I absolutely love it. So I thought, let's try and find another car. So here is the other car. This is also 2011, non-running. It's 2011. It's actually 6 months younger, 6 months older than my car. Other than that, it's identical. It's not an SD, I don't believe. I'm not entirely sure. There is no badge on the back, so I think it's a TD6, not an SD6. But as you'll see on here, we have some lovely doors. So I'm going to be pinching those and popping them on my car. The colour does match. I was a bit nervous that the colour wasn't the same, but it is the same. There are some other little features as well which are kind of handy. For example, mine doesn't have a tow bar kit, so I'm going to pinch that off there as well. So I'm going to pinch the doors, pinch the tow bar kit, and I think that was it. What else was I going to take? Got 2 new rear tyres on the back, so I'm going to pinch those as well. On the front, we have this washer, colour-coded washer jet. On mine, I've got a badly hanging replacement black one, which hasn't been fitted properly. So if the bumper's better, I might just swap the bumper out, I'm not entirely sure. With this car, so this car cost me, just for argument's sake, cost me £4,000. It's 3,900 and something pounds, I think it was. And I got 2 new front tyres for that as well. So that is what I paid for that car. This car cost me £400. That's it, as a non-runner. Okay, it's got the same mile. In fact, it's got 10,000 miles less on this car than it has on my car. So if I can get it running, it'll be even better. It is a full non-start. So I think it's probably a starter motor. I've chucked a battery on it. There is absolutely no start whatsoever. So we're going to go through it. First of all, I'm going to do what I wanted to do in the first place, which was to take those doors off, get them onto my car, get my car sorted, and job done for that. Then I'm going to come back to this car, see if I can make any sense of it, wonder why it's not working, all that sort of things. And then if I can get it running and driving, yes, there's going to be dents all over it because it's got a dent in the front wing here. I think I noticed one on this side of the door as well. Where did I notice it? Yeah, there's a couple of deep sort of scratches here on the door. So, you know, it will match all round. It's like a dented car, but running and driving 2011 Freelander 2, cleaned up with 130,000 miles on the clock. I've probably better get £2,500–3,000 for that. So that is kind of my plan, I think. I think it's a reasonably good plan. It makes some sense for the money I've spent. So in total, I've spent, what, less than £4,500 for 2 cars. So if I can get this running in the end as well, that'll be a bit of a bonus. If I can't, I'll flog it for scrap, or I'll break it for parts, keep some other bits and pieces, and then I'll scrap it. So, first things first, somehow I need to get this onto my ramp. So I wonder if I can do this on my own, or whether I can rope in somebody from Howden's or Screwfix to give me a push. Let's get started. All right, let's start making a start on this door. So I've got the Duff Land Rover onto the ramp now. So the idea is I can start stripping it down without it getting soaking wet, understand how to do everything in my own time, so I can get it apart, all dismantled, cleaned up, ready to go straight into the other car, and then literally I can take off the other car and quickly put it on, so I'll know what I'm doing. That's the plan. So the first things first will be I'm going to take the panel off. It does look like I could probably get away without doing it. I mean, there's a door check here with 2 bolts and a pin. I could probably just remove the pin, or the Torx there. I could probably take the 2, 10, 11 mil bolts off there. Same goes there. That would be the door off. So I've got the electrical connections, which I need to sort. That's probably the most important bit. So I want to see where they go and where they get unplugged. And to do that, I'm going to want to take this off. Secondly, I'm going to want to take this off anyway because I need to change the door handle out because I've obviously got the wrong lock on it. I'm going to want to take that handle out to put the handle from my door onto this door. So first things first, going to start looking at taking this panel off, which does look relatively straightforward. There is what looks to be a panel behind the handle. There looks to be I saw another one. What else? The other one? Another one down here as well, which looks like Phillips. And there's no other screw holes, which is quite interesting. So it might very well be that is kind of it before you can take the top off. And again, there's a plastic surround that goes around the top here, as well, which I don't think I'm going to have to remove to take this off. So let me get a Phillips screwdriver and we'll make a start. There's a trim piece. You can't see it there, sorry, but there's a trim piece that goes around the side of the door here. I'll get a video of it at some other stage, but it's just a single Phillips as well. Yeah, so that comes off. And that's the same as the original 2. So those 3 are the same. And then it's a long one in there. So it's always best to double check, triple check. There we go. I thought so. I think that's everything off. Yeah, we are off, I think, there and there. If you take off a lot of trims, these things are just brilliant. Right, let's get it disconnected, shall we? Right, first things first, we've got switch there. There we go, right. That is a push-in switch connector, which isn't too bad. And then we've got the door lock mechanism. Okay, let's leave that hanging just for the moment. There is no battery on this car, obviously. You would not want to have the battery connected because I think there's probably some airbag malarkey. I don't know, there is actually. That's not airbag, so maybe not. No, maybe there isn't. So let's try and get that off. Oh, there we go. So just a little clip that does unclip at the back and then slides in. Okay, so panel's off. First thing done. Right. The rest I'm going to try and keep on the car as much as I possibly can. I want to try and get this pin off here. Can you still see that from where I am? Yeah, you can, just about. So this will come off quite easily, but I've got to try and get to this connection in there. So I think the easiest thing to do will be to take off the speaker and see if I've got any access to inside that. There we go. So it's these little plastic bits here and here that kind of stops it from coming out. So that's that. And I can indeed get to that. Right, so that goes to, annoying, you're going to go in there, isn't it? So that goes, so I could feed that back through, take it out the door. I'd need to disconnect these two. There's a wire that goes into that speaker, so that is going to have to come off. And then these will have to be taken off, unclipped. One there, little door module. There, door module. Unclipped. Unclipped. There's those two. Can't see, those cables go through there. Through there. And then into there. So there is only a handful of cables going through there, but it doesn't get disconnected from in here. It will disconnect it from this side and feed these through. So if we have a quick look. So this is what I've got to try and get down to. Hang on, if I can zoom you down a little bit. I'm going to do that. No, it's not that one. 1 second. So the cable is in here, and I don't know whether you can see my fingers. There's that little rubber grommet thing there. That's the protector. So what I'm wondering, what would be really nice is that I took that one off and there'd be like a clip the other side of it. Now there might be, so I'm going to take it off both ends to have a quick look. But for the time being, we're going to start by just getting that one off. So we're going to need to take the cable from this side. So I'm going to leave that on the car, take the cable off from this side, and then feed it back through. So we're going to need to take this off still, and I need to take this off still. And then we're going to feed all this, hopefully through that hole. It is quite a big hole, so that should be okay. So I'm going to take some photos quickly before I do that, because I'm me. And then we'll start taking it off. Okay, I have some reference shots. let's start getting this off. So we'll start with this one. I really don't want to. I don't really want to have to break those, but it does look like there is no way of saving these little clips. I wonder if I can get them off with these to keep them actually on the wire. Let's practice, shall we? Yes, you can. It does muller them a little bit, but you know. One, them off, that one, that one, and that one. One more here. Oops. Here we go. Right, so that's that loom there. It's this one I've got to get off now. Oh, that wasn't so bad. There we go, there's a little clip behind for the speaker. There we go. So that's that one. That was easy. We've just got to work out where this one goes now. So I think I'm going to need to take, because this one goes in here and into this fitting here, this control module. So let's get that off, because that, I haven't got enough access there to remove that clip, I don't think. There we go. Right, there's that. And then, how does that come off there? Got it. There we go. There it is, look. See there? Right, so I need to feed this all the way through here. Should be quite straightforward. So that the cable is hanging off, take the check strap off, and then take the 10 mils off. And that is literally the door off. So that's not too bad. So let's continue with that. Right, the check strap is held onto the body with like the opposite of a Torx. So I don't actually know what they call these. It's this kind of shape socket. It's a weird one. And they're called E, it's an E something or other, and I think that is probably an E10. Bang on. So that's an E10. I just need a socket as well, rather than just a, hang on. Yeah, I think it's going to be easier to leave the hinges on the body rather than trying to do those up. They look like a nightmare. Right. There we go. So that's one bolt out. Looks like that. There we go. And that's the check strap off. And can I push that in? If I do that, will it stay in? There we go. That's what we want. That's fine. It's just out of the way now. Okie dokie. So that will open a little bit wider now. Not so wide, it's good. You've got to get those other two off. Get the bottom one off there and the bottom one off there. The bottom one off there and the bottom one off the bottom here. And then get ready to take off those other ones. So I think they're 10 mil. We'll have a quick look. Yeah, they're 10 mil. Right, so I'm going to try and get these off without killing myself. I'm not anticipating the door moving at all. Although I'm going to have to do it with a ratchet spanner, not a socket. You want to use one of these instead. Great little tools. So I need to get the card dropped down a little bit more so we can actually get this off. Take the weight of the door, get the rest off. So bear with me. Got the car down. I would put you outside of here, but there's no room in here at the moment. So like that. Okie dokie. So let's now get the rest of these bolts off. And there we go. It is off. How heavy is it? Not too bad, to be fair. So we are sans door, and the door is here. So this is the door we're going to be keeping. I need to be jolly careful I don't damage it, because this is the one without the big fat dent in it. So I need to be careful I don't damage it. Kind of like to keep the mirror on it as well if I can. So just as I will move this out of the way somewhere else in a minute and put it on one of those bench things over there. But yeah, so that's good. Now the second thing is I do need to take this door off as well. And I think it's going to be easy to do these things in pairs because I've already got so much access here to get to it. So I might try and do exactly the same thing again. I'll leave all the parts and components literally in there ready for the front and just do the same in the back. So I can take the other door off, put them straight into this one, vice versa, all that kind of stuff. The one thing I am going to need to do still on this one though is take that door lock off. And that is done externally, I believe, not internally. I will double check that before I start tearing it apart. But once I've got this on a bench, I can have a good look at it and see what I need to do. Okay, so far so good. That wasn't too bad. It was as straightforward as I expected it to be. And let's get on to the rear one. Comparatively, the back is an awful lot easier. Panel is just the same screws, taking the panel off itself, that's dead easy. And then obviously for decommissioning the loom, you can actually get to everything, which is really, really easy. Apart from this door module here, which is the same thing again, which I should be able to get rid of quite easily. Everything else is super simple. So I'll take the speaker off again to give me access to it, which I think it will be very useful. It will be useful, yep. So, and then everything else just unplugs from where I'm at. So I'm literally just going to go around now unplugging all the stuff I need to unplug. Like that. Difficult to do one-handed. So that one. I'll take that one off in just a second. Speaker. Like that. That's that done. This is already disconnected from the board itself, which I think there was a speaker or a tweeter. Oh no, that's the electric window button. So that's off already. So yeah, it's just a matter of pulling these out like I did last time, taking this one off. It should be quite straightforward now I know how to do it, except can't see that module. So we'll have a look at that one, and then we should be able to get the loom untangled. So that's what I'm doing now. So that was no more difficult than the front, in all fairness, probably slightly easier. Came through, fed through, no worries, no damages. Cable looks fine. Just had a quick check as far as I can have a look up there. There's no chafing, no splitting, anything like that at all. You do have to be careful with these to make sure. It's worth double checking. I can see cables here, which means that might be where there might be some damage, or at least some potential damage. So that might be something I'll tape up as well before I put the old doors back on this old car. But next thing to do is the check strap. So this one here. And then lower the car down, take the door off. Nice and simple. And there's the door, gone. Easy, pretty straightforward to be honest. There's not much to hold the door really. A few bolts and the loom. So they're pretty blooming heavy, I have to admit. So I'm going to wait till I've got Gina and Arlo this weekend. Because it's Saturday morning at the moment. And I think they're out this morning, so I need to pick them up this afternoon and see if I can get them to help me put them onto some stands so I can give them a good old clean, thoroughly good old clean, get them prepped, ready to go on my car. So, for the time being, I'm pretty pleased with that. There's no surprises, I've not found anything broken, all the loom seems to be okay. This is where you find out there's like a thing you press here and the whole thing just comes off with a plug. I bet it flipping does as well, doesn't it? Look at that. No, it doesn't. I don't even want to know. So what I'm going to do in the meantime is, without spending a ridiculous amount of time on it, because there's a chance I might try and get this running, whilst these doors are off, I'm going to give it a really good old clean all around these door frames, like in the areas you can't normally get to very easily. I'm going to give these rubbers a good clean over, silicone them up, clean all the cables off, all that kind of stuff, all the door seals ready to go. I'm not going to clean the rest of the car, I'm just going to clean those areas first, make sure they're nice and clean, ready to go. And then if I do end up getting the car going, when I clean the car off ready for that, it's just an easier thing to actually have done already. One thing I am going to check actually is that on my car, I have the door seal. Ooh, it's just starting to go, look. So the door seal on mine is already knackered. That one's already starting to go. So I'm not going to bother replacing. I'm not going to take this one out and put my one in. I'm just going to buy a new one for my car. But other than that, none of the trim is broken. There's a little bit of seam splitting here, but again, it's not too bad. With a good old clean up, I think this will be okay. The steering wheel is god awful. For 130,000 miles, this steering wheel looks like it's done 1,000,000 miles. So again, if I do try and get this running and driving, I might either get a steering wheel cover, which I hate, or find another second-hand steering wheel on the magical eBay and make that look a bit nicer. So that's it for the moment. I need to go back and see if the boys are around and get them to come and help me. And then we can get these on. And if the weather permits, we can start taking the doors off my car. Welcome back. It's a sunny day, so I'm going to take the opportunity to get the doors off my car and fit the doors I took off earlier on. So this should be quite quick. I know what I'm doing now. Just a number of screws, pull this off, feed those cables through, door off, door on, reverse. So let's get cracking. Before I do that, I'm just going to double check. Door does work. Okay. So, moment of truth. One, it is the right colour. Oh. So, here's it needs to go. I think it just needs to be tightened up. Okay, so height-wise it's okay. So it just needs to be tightened up, I think. Okay, let's give that a go. That's not bad at all. Okay, I'm going to go with that for the time being, and then we can fine-tune it once I've got the back door on, and I've actually got something to level it up against, because at the moment it's difficult to kind of level it because that back door's bent as well. So I am going to get all the bits and pieces back on this door so I can basically lock it What do I do with the back door first? No, I'm going to get the back door on, I think, because then I'm not dependent on the weather. The rest I can do in the workshop. In the car, sorry, not in the workshop. Right, so let's get that back door off. Whew. So in there you'll see, right, so that line there, put that down, that line there, you can see that is there, hang on, you can focus, that there is the thing you're taking off, okay, and that is its base. So that gap in the middle, it's going to focus, there we go, that thing in the middle there is where you pry between, and that basically helps you pull it off. The clip itself is right at the bottom here, which I'll show you when I take it off, and then you pry between those two. So get a bigger screwdriver and that will help you pry it off. Working again. But I do wonder whether or not you need to have the front module on for the back module to work. Whether they work in pairs, I don't know. But either way, the window definitely works because I wound it down. So, worst case, I might try the other door card. But for the time being, I am going to have a coffee because I need to charge my phone because we're running out of batteries. So, I'll be back. Okie dokie, so as part of this door transfer, obviously in here you've got like an emergency key lock to be able to undo the car if the battery fails or you want to get in the car still. Now obviously this is the old door for the old car, key doesn't match. So to remove this thing, you do not need to have the inside door cover off. So I was waiting to put it all back on because I wanted to change this out. Actually, it's a lot easier than you think. Surprisingly easy for a Land Rover, in fact. So this is the cover that was on. And basically, to get that off, I've just left the key in there. You get the car key out of its panel, you push it up, it pulls that thing in and releases this off. That comes off. Once you've got that, you then need a T25. And here, there'll be this little cap. Hang on. Oh, I'm already taking it off. There's a little cap like that. Just pries off. Oops. And in here, it is a bit buried, but it's kind of at a funny angle. It's kind of like at that angle. There's a T25 screw, which you do not need to remove completely. Let's Try and get it on if I can. You're not going to see it. There's no way I could film that, I don't think. But try and get this on there. I'll try and film it at another point. Right, so when it's on, okay, so it's at a funny angle, okay, you loosen it off. If you come around this side for me, and you'll see this is starting to get loose. So keep an eye on that. Okay, keep undoing it. Keep going. Keep undoing it until it's completely unreleased. Released, look, there we go. And that is your lock mechanism, okay? So, leave everything as it is. Go get the one from your spare door that I've already done. It's that one. Pop this on. Which way round is it? That way round, isn't it? Pop this on. Like that. And screw it back up again. And there we go. That's back on. Just slots in. Done. That is now changed. Really, really easy job, and you do not need to remove the inside door card for it, which is great because I can now continue putting mine back on. Okay. Here we go. Fine. That was indeed the reason the front window is working. Kicks it out. It didn't really, but it tends to kick it out. So that is great news. So I'm going to get this off right now. Get everything else plugged in. So. Done. Okie dokie. Wonderful. Blimey. So there we go. It's quite an intensive job because you want to get it done, especially if you get bad weather. But it is quite straightforward if you've got the room to kind of take it off in the morning, put them on in the afternoon, you don't forget anything. There's not a huge amount of screws and bits and pieces, it's quite straightforward to do. So now I have two much nicer doors on this car and it's starting to come together a bit better. Looks a bit nicer. So there's a few other bits I'm going to do, but I'm going to call it there on this video. If it's useful to anybody, give us a like, thumbs up, and give us a follow or subscribe. Anybody is restoring or needs help with their Freelander, maybe forward the video to them, share it to them. So thanks for watching. I hope it was of some use. Do stay tuned. I'm going to do plenty more videos on the Freelander. There's tons more coming up on the Range Rover as well as some bikes and stuff as well. So do subscribe if you haven't already. Very much appreciate it for all the algorithm and all that stuff. And I shall see you again in the next one. Thanks.